cow.
Yeah, we're live.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Are we live? My God, everyone out in Killer Bee Nation land, have I lost my mind? Have I gone completely off the rocker? Am I off the chain? What am I doing so close to a beehive? Oh my God. Okay, I'm being dramatic. People always say that we're fearmongers. Well, no, we're not. But this is an incredibly interesting lesson that we have for you today, class. There will be a test later. Anyway, I'm Reed Booth, Killer Bee Guy. We got Hosh on the camera. Say good afternoon, Hosh.
Good afternoon, Hosh.
I knew he was going to say that. Anyway, we're somewhere south of Wilcox, in a neighborhood near you. Well, coming to a neighborhood near you. We're going to give everybody a minute to get online. This is really a cool thing. We're going to teach everyone about something that Africanized bees do, European bees do, honeybees do. It's called absconding. We didn't have nothing to do with it. We did not evict the hive. We did not kill one. No bees were harmed during the filming of this.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, because they're all Africanized, as you guys know. So this person that owns this home called us up and said, I have something interesting going on. There's a bunch of comb hanging off of the tree limb about 12 feet up. Look at how far we up. Look at this. Look at, show everyone the ground, how far we are up. I'm scared. Okay, anyway, we're up a ways. And both of us are perched on Don's ladder. Is Don on yet?
Yeah, he's there.
Don's on. Don, we're on one of your ladders. We didn't need both of them. We got one of us on each side. This is so damned interesting, actually, because she said there's all this beautiful comb hanging up about 12 feet off the ground on the tree limb. And I said, well, that I was assuming it was covered in bees also. And I said, well, this is becoming more normal with Africanized hives and swarms. And of course, the only difference between a swarm and a hive is that millisecond they decide to live somewhere. Well, this was a ball of bees hanging in the tree about a couple of 3 months ago, maybe 4, because you can see how dark it is in here. And they built all this beautiful comb. And so this is a hive, or was. And basically, oh my God, I can smell it. It smells so good. Everybody, can you smell that? Anyway, this is a beautiful hive, and they decided to leave in the last few days, all of them, for some ungodly reason. It makes zero sense.
So trippy.
So trippy.
And they picked it clean, too.
They picked it clean. No honey, no. I have seen them abscond. And it's when the queen decides, for some ungodly reason, that this is no longer a nice place to live. And I've seen them leave babies behind. I've seen them leave honey behind. Not these guys. They left bare cupboards. All right, this is basically a furnished apartment. And so I was explaining, because I thought when she had called it, well, there might still be bees in between the layers of the comb here, and that would mean that they swarmed, which of course, okay, there's 2 reasons that bees leave en masse from a hive, and that is either absconding, like what we're talking about here. And again, we didn't have shit to do with this, unfortunately. So they went over to the neighbors, and they can call us later. So it's either absconding where they all leave, or it's swarming, which of course you guys know about, where it is when it's nature's way of propagating the area with bees. And so a real problem that we have with swarming is that each Africanized hive will send off 10 or 20% of their bees, and you still have your old hive. They'll do that 30 times a year. So that's 30 new hives in the hood. And I'd like to thank everyone for that. But anyway, that's not the case here, because there are no bees here, or I would have my bee suit on, oh my God, or I'd be dead. So they absconded, and this is a really interesting time to show up close. In fact, I'm going to trade places with you, Hosh, so you can show people how they built around the leaves.
Wow.
I can see here how they built.
I see it.
Around, you see that right there?
Yes.
Built around the leaves.
So trippy.
It is so trippy. I'm going to have you get up over here.
What kind of tree is this?
This is a live oak. This is one of the biggest oak trees. I got a couple of them this big on the ranch. This is a really beautiful tree, and there's nothing wrong with the tree. The tree is awesome. And I'm looking at these little, I don't know if they're, not all the leaves have that little white ball on them. I think that they're I think there's some sort of an egg sac. I really do. But we're worried about the health of the tree. You can see this little white egg sac here. You see these little, I believe those are little white egg sacs of some sort, but they don't taste like it. I tried one earlier. I'm just kidding. So anyway, so this is an oak tree, a live oak, big, beautiful tree. These things take a long time to get this big. This thing's got to be at 50, 75 years old. I mean, this is a big, beautiful tree. But to build this, these bees built this in like quick order, couple, 3 months, maybe even a month. So they came, they built, and they decided they didn't like the neighborhood anymore, or this particular, I have no idea why. That's one question that comes up, is why do bees abscond? I have no idea. And as you guys know, beekeepers are one of the most pretentious arrogant bunch of, bastards in the world. Know everything about it. Well, no, they don't. Neither do I. And, science is not a period. It's a comma, right? It's a paragraph that never ends. And so we're trying to fill in the blanks as we go along, and as we understand more, great. But why do they abscond? No rhyme, no reason. I have zero idea. We know why they swarm, and that's nature's way of propagating the area with bees. At least that's our interpretation of it, unlike everything else. But this is so damned cool. So I really, here, you know what? Can you hand me that? Because I really want to show everybody this, where they built around this leaf, because this is just like sci-fi, and you rarely get to see this stuff, everybody. But you see where is it here? I gotta actually, right up here. Look at that, where they built around that leaf. Now I'm gonna switch cameras here so everybody can see it. They attached, everybody can see this. I want everybody, we're on live stream. We're not getting the focus on this one. There we go. So, and finally, I think we have TikTok here. I want to show everybody how they built. I mean, it's just fascinating how they build around whatever they encounter. They do not move it. They will not move clothing. I've seen them build in pockets or folds of clothes in a closet around them. They built around that leaf. They didn't move it. They do not move anything. It's just beautiful as hell. Oops, somebody's calling us and thinking we're really important. Well, we are, but we'll answer it later. Anyway, so this is just a fascinating educational thing. I'm wondering, do we have anybody out there in Killer Bee Nation land? Again, before we go on, I'm Reed Booth, Killer Bee Guy. Thank you so much for joining us. We're live on, what are we live on, Whoosh?
Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, and we're capturing on another one?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Welcome, everyone, Killer Bee Nation. Anybody have any questions for us about this weird, behavior that we don't see very often?
Well, they asked why they're building out under the sun.
Yeah, no shit. Boy, is that the question of the ages. That's one thing that we've been seeing with Africanized. Now, European bees would never do this, that I've seen. I'm kind of new at it with 30 plus years, so kind of new. Anyway, European bees would never build out in front of God and everybody. I've never seen it. Then about 8 or 10 years ago, we used to start seeing some swarms, maybe 10 or 20% of them, where people would go and say, well, I got a ball of bees hanging in a tree just exactly like this. Come and get them. And we'd remove them, and there would be, a piece of comb, maybe a little tiny piece or something hanging. Wait a minute, what the hell are they doing building in there? That was a baffling thing to me. And as you guys have seen many times, when we remove a swarm, if they don't have any comb like this, there will be little white nubbins all over the bark. That's their foundation. That's their concrete and rebar they're going to build this out from. So then it went from 20% to 30 and 40. Now well over 50% of all swarms that we're getting off of tree limbs, they're doing this. Total sci-fi. Total sci-fi. They just out in front of God and everything. And how do they? One question that we get, and I know someone's going to ask, is how do they repel the rain? This is fascinating shit right here, because they will ball around. You know what they do? They make what do they call that when the Vikings, they make a shield wall? Right. Or no, the Romans. Yeah. Well, I think the Vikings did it too.
The Romans did.
Yeah, Romans did that, where they build they all get together and put their shields out. That's what they do. All of the bees, there will be kind of like a shell, and they'll all face upward, so their wings are pointed down, and the rain runs off. I mean, really unbelievable. Fascinating shit. So that was how they, deflect the rain and moisture. As far as cold temperatures go, get this. If it's 20 degrees out here, in the air. They will ball up in the middle of this. Gotta hope there's no bees up in there. I'm kidding. I'll pull a Hosh. Anyway, so they will ball up in the middle of this. All right, and by eating honey, which is pure energy, and vibrating against each other, they can keep it warm in there. They can survive cold temperatures. Awesome shit. Total sci-fi. Even after all these years of doing it, total sci-fi. So, who else has some questions for us before I take down a piece here to show everyone? Because this is just cool AF. Oh my God, there's a cool door. Who's got anybody any thoughts on us? I don't know why we're so handsome. Stop asking. I have no idea. We've been researching it. Chat GTP has nothing to say about it. Google, on the other hand, talks anyway.
Why is it when you have beehives, a lot of time you find black widow spiders?
Oh, yeah, you know, who was that was asking that before? And I think the main reason is, like, you don't see any black widows out here, or I wouldn't have my hands up here, that's for damn sure. It's because there are black widow spiders everywhere here. Even if you don't think you got them under your house, up in the attic, whatever. They like dark places, obviously, and it's not just those that we find side by side. There will be scorpions, but the scorpions will skedaddle when they're in motion and noise. Rarely a rattlesnake. You guys have seen us get startled by a rattlesnake sometimes. And someone did ask, how come they never kill the black widows? Oh, they will. They don't care. They will kill anything. It's not like they can live together. I've never seen anything these guys can live with, including another hive of Africanized bees. They can live side by side, but they can't visit each other because they're enemies of each other. As you guys know, the only reason that bees from this hive would go visit a hive 2 feet away is to steal honey. That's it. They ain't to help them build something or do anything. It's to steal honey. So they do kill the black widow spiders. We actually, but of course, black widows, I don't think they mind living next to a hive, because then they get the occasional bee for lunch. And that sounds like a damn good idea to me, too. So, yeah, black widows, also brown recluses, any spiders that build webs. We get into the creepiest damn shit, as you know. You've seen us underneath, trailers up in attics. You guys know, you see us do all that shit anyway. So who else has some fascinating and really great questions for us?
Well, Sonny Parker was saying they found them in Indiana recently.
Oh, really?
Bees.
Sonny. Someone did send, was it Sonny that sent us
Westfield, I think she said.
something? Interesting, because the reports keep coming in. Thank you so much, you guys, for sending reports to us at killerbeeguy@gmail.com as far as what's happening on the ground in your neighborhood. Because if a bee attack happens in your hood, we don't hear about it. The only way you hear about bee attacks here is if you watch us. And that's because there's so much, bullshit in the news that they don't get around to these things that are really important as far as we're concerned. Because if you get attacked by bees, it's the most important thing in your damn life, I'll tell you right now. So they send us, please keep sending us those. Lee Ramsey is Don. A bunch of the fam has been sending us all these articles. Thank you. Jeannie, thank you so much sending us articles. Linda, of course. It's just awesome. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Also, all of your queen bee honeys have gone out. See, what I'm talking about is on YouTube. If you join our member, yay, become a member of Killer Bee Guy. Thank you so much, Killer Bee Nation. It really helps with our day-to-day shit. If you join at the queen level, you get an 8-ounce jar of honey sent to you automatically the first of every month. So everybody's honey went out, including Campfire Trailers. Thank you very much for getting a hold of me and getting your address up to me. And so everybody's has gone out, and if I missed anybody, please just let me know, because I'm not 20 anymore and I can't remember what I did yesterday. So there, tough. Anyway, thank you guys so much. So on that note, what the hell else was I talking about? Who's got a question for us?
Well, somebody was asking, nature changes and adapts and everything. Can a place become accustomed to an invasive species? Basically the question.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I would say after millions of years, the Earth is going to go through upheaval. This all used to be under ocean. So are stingrays native here? What we try to ask everyone to do is stay on topic with the bee situation, the honeybee situation. because we can get into philosophical shit, broad general sweeping all day long. Has nothing to do with the conversation we're having at this point, of course. So I love getting all philosophical and shit. We're just not going to do it right here.
Yeah, I think basically
we
they're
gotta stay on
asking.
topic.
I think basically they're asking if, can killer bees become naturalized?
Well, now this is a really interesting question, and I really like it actually, because that's like asking if honeybees are naturalized. Okay, honeybees are invasive to the Western Hemisphere. They don't belong here. This is so cool to be able to talk like this shit with this up. I just love this. This is so cool. This is like the best shot ever.
Good little prop. Oh yeah, it looks
Isn't it
good.
just the best? How did we glue these up here again? I'm just fucking with you. We didn't glue them up there. So anyway, honeybees are invasive to the Western Hemisphere. There were no honeybees in the Western Hemisphere until the early 1600s. There were no honeybees in the state of Arizona before 1872, ever. So they're an invasive species. Does it take 1,000 years? I don't know. I'm not going to be around, that's for sure. I just know what I'm dealing with right now.
Well, in the current research, and this is research done just last year,
Yeah.
is showing that they create weaker plants.
Oh, this is very interesting also because Hosh has talked about, and here, Alex, I'm going to put the camera on you for a second so you can tell people about this symbiotic relationship that plants have with native pollinators.
Sure, yeah. Well, so let's pretend, I think naturalization is going to happen over a very long period of time, but not in 400 years. And we still talk about mesquite trees, and there's an interesting thing that happens out here where, there are wealthy people that will buy up big tracts of land, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to restore the land to its natural state. And the first thing they do is they start bulldozing mesquite trees, piling them up and getting rid of them. Why? Because mesquite trees are invasive to Arizona. They were brought here, the seeds were brought here in cow manure, like what, 500, 600 years ago?
Yeah, about
basically?
500 years ago, yeah.
500 years ago.
Yeah.
So remember, honeybees were not in Arizona before 1872.
Right.
So how long does it take for them to adapt? Now, research done very, very recently shows that honeybees don't take the pollen far enough away from the original flower, and the result is that the native plants are getting inbred. So basically, what we're saying is honeybees, good for big agriculture. They're good for farmers, but when we say farmers, we're talking about big agriculture. I'm not talking about family farms,
right,
over there in Elfrida.
Right.
We're talking about big stuff. Honeybees will prop that up. Now, the fact is that stuff is not sustainable, but that's a different conversation. But honeybees prop up those things, but they're hell on ecosystems.
Yeah.
They just are.
Native environments. Yep.
Native environments. And wherever we find big honeybee hives, big killer bee hives,
very few.
There's a dearth of native pollinators.
Very few.
There.
Yep.
So
exactly.
When we say they compete, that's not theoretical. We've literally seen it.
Yeah. It's very interesting also because when we get rid of hives in an area, especially multiple hives, within a couple of years, the native pollinator population goes up in that area a lot. It's really cool. Really awesome. So, because we're getting rid of, especially with Africanized bees, we're getting rid of a deadly invasive species.
Somebody
right?
said there's a big difference between killer bees and honeybees.
Well, they are honeybees.
Yeah,
they are honeybees.
There's not such a big difference.
It's genetic. There's a big difference in attitude. That's for damn sure.
One will kill your dog. The other one will
Doesn't
just
care.
pollute your environment.
So the killer bee is a cross between the European and African to make the Africanized. Now that crossbreed they did on purpose in the 1950s in Brazil because they wanted to make a honeybee that would make more honey, which the African bee was known to make up twice as much, and disease resistant. So they got all that, but they also got Frankenbee. They got Satan bee. I mean, these things are, every week in this county alone in the summer, they kill a dog, a horse, or a goat. We had to rescue the Sierra Vista Fire Department the other day here. You guys see that vid on YouTube. Just to reiterate, killer bees are honeybees.
Yeah.
That's all.
And somebody said, well, how do honeybees pollute your environment? I thought I just said.
Well, okay, what they do
is more to it than that.
yeah, they don't pollute the environment, they dilute it for sure. What they do is they compete with native pollinators for food source and housing. These Africanized bees will kill native pollinators or drive them away on flowers. They're Vikings. Now, our native pollinators do not stand a chance against these guys because almost all of our native pollinators are solitary bees. They live alone. They got 100,000 of these guys to compete with in one hive. So it's a very unequal battle, and one that our native pollinators are losing. So we are very pro-native pollinator and very anti-invasive species, whether it's European honeybees or much, much worse, Africanized honeybees. Honeybees are invasive to the Western Hemisphere. We are against invasive species. We are pro-native pollinator. God, aren't I something? I feel like I'm preaching up here. Glory,
Yes.
hallelujah.
Yes, and then the TikTok, as it stands, troll talk is quickly becoming a toilet bowl. There's no such thing as killer bees, all this kind of
I
nonsense.
don't know. Talk to the
so-
people whose relatives they've killed, or dogs, or
yeah.
horses.
Yeah,
You
I mean
know.
they've killed 1,000.
I mean, it
people
is
since they
a
got to the
look at that.
US.
Look at this. How they
Yeah.
built around this leaf. This is a perfect example. Oh my God! I didn't know I was going to get that. That is, and everybody see that? Is that the most beautiful thing in the
It's
world?
really interesting.
Hold on, I got another one here.
Yeah.
I got more leaves they built around. These make the most beautiful shadow boxed wall things. Oh my God. Well, there's some they built around too. But look at that. You see, they do not move anything.
Very cool. I want to pass this down to her.
Oh yeah,
She's
absolutely.
still out here. Yeah.
You want to see
Take a
that?
Look at this.
All right, she'll get it later. All right. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely beautiful. So each one of these little, we're not going to get into a big argument about this shit. They're killer bees. They're Africanized. They're invasive species. They're called killer bees because they actually kill things. And so, you know, you got to move out of your mother's basement at some fucking point. So just calm down. Anyway, each one of these cells is a canning jar for bees.
Right.
Each one of them. And so now when they first make these cells, it's pure white. Beautiful like this. God, isn't that just oh my God, my favorite smell in the world, as you guys know. Oh, here, smell, everyone. Everyone smell that? Okay, not you, Hosh, you already know. Hosh is grabbing for his, I want to smell it. All right, so I want to show you guys how, just like anything that anyone would use, a jar, as they use it, they will, so when these are canning jar for bees, and so they'll fill it with either pollen or honey or brood or babies. There's nothing in this. This is totally empty. All
Somebody
these
said
canning
it
jars.
smells like a screen protector.
That is hilarious. Smells like your fingers. Don't.
Smells like my phone.
Smells like my phone. That is hilarious. You guys are too much fun. God almighty. Well, here, try it again. No, anyway. So, as they use it, it gets stained. Literally. So this is, you know, a few months old. We're going to know more as we dig in here. This is one of the few times you're ever going to see me near one of these without a bee suit on. Oh, that's why we wanted to live stream this, to show everybody just how damn cool we are. I mean, so anyway, and look at this. You see this branch sticking out of there?
Somebody's asking what it's made of.
It's actually, oh, this is such, okay, technically, it's made from honey. Okay, bees, it's beeswax. They distill it in their own bodies, their own abdomens. It's magic. I don't understand it. They have to eat 7 pounds of their own honey to make 1 pound of wax. What in the hell? It's total sci-fi. It's the coolest thing in the world. So, are you sure it smells like a screensaver? I don't know. It smells good to me.
Interesting. My wife, me, my horses and dogs all got attacked here in northern Mississippi.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Your horses, dogs, you and your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Did everyone survive, or how'd it go? Because that's horrible.
Yeah.
That happens every week here. Well, every day in Cochise County, people get attacked.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it never gets reported, of course.
A lot of it does not.
You know, almost none of it gets reported. I am so sorry, buddy. Northern Mississippi, they are in all the lower 48 states, period. Oh, I got to get some more of this off here. Oh my God. Now, I want to show you guys something really cool. This is untouched, except by me, of course. This is beeswax. So, you know what it is?
He said all at the same time they got attacked. One puppy didn't make it.
Oh, man.
Everyone else is okay.
That's northern Mississippi, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, bud. All right, so you saw me take a bite of that, right? It tastes like nothing. Okay? It's beeswax, nature's gum. Now, if this was full of honey or even had a little pollen in it, oh, I'd still be chewing. Oh, hell yeah. But it's just beeswax, and it tastes like a beeswax candle, actually. Not that good. It is edible. You can digest it, but who cares? You know, I really don't give a shit. I just wanted to show you guys that, how manly I am by chewing beeswax. Anyway, whatever. So I'm going to keep pulling cool stuff down here because this is a really rare opportunity to show absconding. Look at this, how they built around the limb, the twigs and the leaf. And this is just bizarre. They do not move anything.
Billings, Montana. We've had a report from Billings, Montana.
Billings, Montana. There was an attack in Billings. Wow. No, they're in all the lower 48. They're in Alberta, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. It's just a question of concentration, or what we call
exactly.
saturation.
Yeah, saturation level. Here it's been 100% for many decades. All of the unmanaged feral hives are Africanized. Look at it. Here more. Oh, look at this is cool leaf action. Look at that, guys.
Yeah,
where they built around the leaves.
Here's a report for you, Reed. Guy in central North Dakota opened his mailbox and they got him in his truck.
Oh my God, central North Dakota.
That's crazy.
Yep. You know, and honestly, it's getting so it doesn't surprise me anymore because they are in all the lower 48. And of course, the naysayers are like, oh, they can't survive the cold. These bees do everything better.
Yeah, they adapt.
They adapt. They change to conditions, and they already have. It's done. So Hosh put it really, really the best one time. He said, wherever European bees can survive, these guys can thrive. They actually do better. Yeah. Horrifying, I know.
Yeah, well, look, they found them in Manhattan.
Oh yeah, there was an attack in Central Park. Right.
Yeah.
Right. There was an attack in
and
this is why it's so much fun.
You
guys sending us those news clips because nobody hears about them. Right. You know, and just because you haven't heard about it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Oh, I sound like a smarty pants, don't I? Look at this, more cool stuff. When I climb down the ladder, we're going to take this out in the sun, and I'm going to show you this with the sun behind them and shining through to the cameras, so you guys can see this. So, and you'll see what I call opposing hexagonal construction. And this is one thing that we teach, because I teach for the state for licensing, continuing education and whatnot. Look, I got one sniffing around me because it smells good. She's a neighboring. She lives somewhere else. She better anyway. Yeah. But I want to show you that opposing hexagonal construction. This construction on a cells of a beehive are the strongest natural substance, or not substance, but strongest construction technique. Now I want to show you guys this also. These guys are hanging like this off the tree limb, right? If you would notice, each one of these cells in conjunction are all slanted up a little bit, so that when they bring the nectar back, the nectar don't run out. Right. Isn't that just awesome? These guys, it's just never ending. It's just like, too bad there's a damn deadly, but whatever, you know, it's life. We adapt. So these are really fun to show you guys all this stuff. This is that leaf I was showing you before.
Yep, that's new comb there. New work.
This is pretty much new. Pretty new. So what we're going to do now, oh, this is absolutely adorable, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is climb down and show you guys that sun through the comb so you can see the opposing hexagonal construction. Then we're going to get back up, scrape all this down, and then coat it with that, you know, you guys watch us use that pruning seal, automotive undercoating and shit like that. Where this is pheromones. Pheromones are smells. There's millions of them. You guys know that. It's soaked into the bark here, or it'll soak into anything. Right. So what we're going to do is we don't want a new swarm to think this smells good. This is why she had us come and remove this. Was because this is a furnished apartment. Well, unfurnished actually, okay? Unfurnished apartment. And so we didn't want a new swarm to come in and 5 minutes from now all of a sudden it's full of bees again, because it sure as shit's gonna happen. So we have to treat this area, but I want to show you guys this opposing hexagonal construction. So let's get down the ladder, and Dawn's ladder, man, I tell you, man, this thing is like stairs. At my age, I wish it was an escalator. I'm just saying, okay? Anyway. So let's go ahead and get down, Hosh, and we'll you want to hand me that, or are you good?
Oh, I'm good. I'll wait until you're down.
Okay. I'm down. I'm depressed. Okay, let's go down here in the sun. We'll take a light one and a dark one. What do you think? So if you actually point that, yeah, up at the sun, you know. All right, so you should be able to see. I'm going to put this so it's directly in the shade. Can you see that?
Yep.
How is that for focus?
Very good.
So can you guys see through that? Now, you can see the six-sided cells, and on the other side, you can see the other six-sided cells in the middle of the six-sided cells facing you.
Yeah.
Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
That's opposing hexagonal construction that I called it, because that makes the strength, if they were just simply on each side of each other, where if the seams met, it would be 1/10 as strong as it is now. Isn't that the most beautiful thing in the world? Is it better further out or closer in?
Oh, it's fine there. Yeah.
How about closer in?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Boy, we like that close-up shit, don't we, guys? Except of me, of course. I'm kidding. Okay, that was your ASMR moment. That's
There
it.
it
Tough
is.
shit.
There it is.
Anyway. All right, guys. Man, that was how, we must have some more questions around here, huh?
Oh, I'm sure. Let me get over here in the shade.
All right, in
so
the
I
shade,
can
we can
see.
see what the hell's going on. Okay. So we're going to clean all this up, of course. But what a great teaching opportunity to show people and answer some question about, you know, Africanized bees and killer bees and genetics, swarming capabilities, honey production. They make twice as much honey. That was why they were created. This is not an act of God. All right. So they're like crossbred, just like chihuahuas and shit. Anyway, I always bring up chihuahuas, so you know. Who's got some questions for us, Hosh?
Well, people asking if you can eat it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he did a minute ago. I think you probably
yeah.
just got here.
No, there's no honey in here. I just took a bite. It's just flavorless. It's beeswax. You know, take a bite out of a beeswax candle. Yeah.
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 Well, there's a guy on here on YouTube saying, "I'm glad I found you guys. I was going to beekeep. Y'all stopped me. Good."
Well, good. I mean, put up some
That's
mason boxes, mason bee condos if you want. Native pollinators are what's important. Invasive species are not. We got to do away. This honeymoon that people have with invasive species, and of course I'm talking honeybees, you know. I mean, no one's going to start growing buffalo grass, okay? Or no one's going to start growing those eels that are jumping around in the Mississippi and shit. Nobody's going to do that on purpose, I don't think. They would really get chastised and thrown out if they did. Probably be illegal. Yet honeybees are the buffalo grass of the insect world. They're horrible for native environment, competing with native pollinators. Beekeepers hate us. I'll just tell you right straight off the bat, they absolutely hate us because we aren't making this shit up, and they know it. Now, we're not coming for them. I don't give a shit. I'm just putting the information out there for everyone to understand what they're doing. And like the gentleman just said, that he was going to keep honeybees till he realized the truth. I got rid of mine. I used to be the biggest bee hugger in the world, but I'm not an ideologue. I'm more of a scientist. And so if I find out something that I'm doing and believe in is not right, I'm going to change my behavior. I'm not going to think that I should pull the wool over everyone's eyes and keep going on with my behavior in the name of something. It's not going to happen. Honeybees are invasive to the Western Hemisphere, period. Just the way it is. So yeah, don't keep honeybees. If you want to help your native environment, don't keep honeybees. Because in a 2 to 3 mile radius, and I say 2 to 3 mile because European honeybees will basically forage in about a 2 mile radius. Africanized are much better at everything, about a 3 mile radius. In that 3 mile radius from every single hive, they are decimating native pollinators in the Western Hemisphere. It's absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. So anyway, well, I think we can go ahead and wrap this up, huh?
Right on.
That's been awesome, you
Yeah,
guys.
I'm going to go up there and...
Okay, show everybody how high up it is and how brave we are.
Yeah, I'm going to go up there and... Did you want to use automotive undercoating up there?
Yeah, we should scrape it down good and do
Yep.
that. But let's go ahead and sign off. It's just a cleanup operation now, guys. Thank you so much for coming along for this weird... You never know what we're going to get into, but thank you so much. Of course, guys, subscribe, like, and all that shit. More importantly, become a member on YouTube if you would, please, because it really does help with our day-to-day ops. Thanks so much to Mel and Dan at Blue Water Cafe. Congratulations, by the way, and Don Shar, of course, for all of the goodness, and Linda and Jeannie and all of the whole family, the whole damn family, Tom and Tim and everybody, just the whole family. Killer Bee Nation, we love you guys. Go to killerbeeguy.com and get some honey. Do it now. Do it in front of me. I'm waiting. killerbeeguy.com. We're going to be having holiday specials. Of course, everybody go buy Christmas presents. We're going to make it easy. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sure that Hosh wants to say something important here.
I don't know how important it is, but if you notice that you've got an empty beehive hanging out of the oak tree in your yard and you're in Cochise County, give us a call and I'll tell you why. That's a furnished apartment.
Yep.
It's only a matter of time before a new hive is going to move in there. A new swarm is going to move in and take that over. And that's a fully established hive. I mean, they can just start up and operating immediately.
Oh, move right in.
So it was a good deal that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
It's off the real estate market.
It's off the market. So
it's not the MLS, it's the BLS.
Yeah. Honeybee Africanization is on the rise all over the U.S. Do your research, and enough with the bee hugging. We need to save our native. We need to save our native pollinators.
Enough with the bee
Save
hugging.
our native pollinators. We'll see you guys on the next job.
We'll love you guys. Bee hug. See you guys later.